Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to be looking at a story about a Dallas rapper, Yella Beezy, who you might have heard of.
You might have, yeah.
And he was recently arrested.
Right.
And so we're going to be diving into that whole thing today.
We are going to be trying to understand everything around the arrest of Markies Deandre Conway, which is Yella Beezy's real name.
Right.
He was taken into custody March 20th, 2025 on a capital murder for hire charge.
Wow, and that's a big one, right?
It is.
So this all goes back to a rapper named Mo3.
No, Melvin Noble.
Who was killed back in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So this is obviously huge news, just as like celebrity news. But also, when you're talking about a capital murder charge, here in Texas,
Yes.
that could mean life in prison.
It could.
It could mean the death penalty.
Or the death penalty.
So this is a really, really big deal.
Huge implications.
Yeah, huge. So we've been looking at a lot of different sources for this, mostly news reports, court documents.
Right. A lot of the coverage has come from Vega's Daily Vibes. They've been following this very closely.
Yeah, okay, so let's get into it. So first of all, just like, what does it mean when someone is charged with capital murder for hire?
So essentially what they're saying is that Yella Beezy paid someone or made some agreement with someone to kill Mo3.
Okay.
So he contracted this killing.
So there's like a financial agreement or like a...
There was an agreement or a promise of some sort.
Okay, so it's not just like he told somebody to do it.
Right.
It's like there's something...
Not premeditated, right? It's not like a spur of the moment thing.
Okay, yeah, okay. So, and, you know, the event itself, the killing of Mo3 was pretty shocking, right?
Very much so.
It was in broad daylight on a highway.
That's right. It was on Interstate 3, 5E, November 11th, 2020. Mo3 was ambushed while he was driving. They say he tried to run away.
Oh, wow.
On foot, but was chased down and shot.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's a brazen act to do that in the middle of the day.
Yeah, on a highway. And this guy, Keon White.
Right.
What's his deal? What's going on with him?
Keon White's the alleged shooter, and he's actually already in prison.
Okay.
He was convicted on firearm charges related to Mo3's murder.
Okay.
So this new development is that now they're saying that they think Yella Beezy was the one behind the whole thing.
Okay.
That he was the one who orchestrated it.
Wow. So Yella Beezy, you know, is a pretty well-known rapper.
Yeah, very well known. He had that song.
Especially in Dallas. That's how Nina was a huge hit.
That's on Mania, yeah, in 2017.
2017, that really put him on the map.
Yeah. And, you know, he's had some trouble in the past, some, like, legal issues.
He has.
So I think it's important to kind of look at all that, right?
Absolutely.
So, like, back in 2018, he was shot himself.
Yeah, he was a victim of shooting.
In 2021, he was arrested a couple of times.
Right. There were weapons charges.
Yeah.
Drug charges.
And then there were
sexual assault allegations as well.
Right. Which were later dismissed.
Right. They were dropped. So, you know, he's had
it's been a bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah, a bit of a complicated life.
Yeah.
And he grew up in Oak Cliff in Dallas.
He did. Mm-hmm.
And he lost his dad when he was pretty young. So, I mean, that's got to
Yeah, when he was young.
play some kind of role, right?
I mean, you can't help but wonder, you know, how that shapes a person.
Right.
Growing up in Oak Cliff, which is a tough place. And then losing your father at a young age.
Yeah.
That's got to have some impact.
Yeah, so it's not an excuse or anything like that, but it's definitely...
No, of course not. But it's part of his story.
It's part of the story, yeah. So this news has really shaken up the hip-hop community.
Yeah.
And his fans.
For sure. I mean,
okay.
It's been met with a lot of shock and disbelief.
And Mo3's mom.
Yeah.
Williams Noble. She has been really vocal.
Very vocal.
On social media.
Especially on social media.
Demanding justice for her son.
Yeah, she wants answers.
Yeah.
She wants someone to be held accountable.
And, you know, this really brings up a bigger conversation about the music industry.
It does, yeah.
And violence.
Yeah.
And rivalries and things like that.
Right. This kind of violence is unfortunately not uncommon in the music world. Especially in hip-hop.
Yeah. And there's been a ton of news coverage on this.
Oh, yeah.
NBC, DFW, Fox 4, CBS News, they're all over it.
Everyone's covering this. It's a big story.
Yeah. So, okay, so right now, where do things stand?
Right now, Yella Beezy is in custody.
Okay.
At the Dallas County Jail.
Sure.
And what's important to note is that no bond has been set.
Okay.
Which is typical in Texas. For a capital murder case.
Okay.
It shows how seriously they're taking this. It means he's going to stay in jail. while this plays out in court.
So this could go on for a while.
This could be a long process, a very long process.
So what happens next, I guess?
Well, the investigation's still ongoing.
Okay.
They're probably still gathering evidence, interviewing people, and then it'll go to court. And who knows how long that'll take.
Yeah. And so this is just the beginning of it all?
I think so, yeah.
And so we're going to keep following this story.
We'll keep you updated.
Yeah, Vega's Daily Vibes is all over it too, so we'll definitely be checking in with them.
Absolutely, they're doing great work.
And this whole thing just really makes you think, right?
It does, about what's going on in
Yeah.
the hip-hop world. This is a serious accusation.
Yeah.
Murder for hire, is that something that's more common than we think?
Right. Or is this like a really unusual case?
An isolated incident.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Hard to say.
But it definitely raises a lot of questions.
So for all the latest on this,
Yeah.
Stick with us. We're going to be following it.
Absolutely.
And check out Vega's Daily Vibes.
They've got all the details.
They do, yeah. And I think this is just another example of how complicated the music industry is and how
dangerous it can be.
Yeah, and, fame and money and
Right.
all that stuff.
It's a powerful mix.
Yeah. So we'll see how it all plays out. But this is definitely a case to watch.
A case to watch for sure.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
We'll be back soon
We'll be back with more.
with another deep dive.
Another deep dive into something.
See you later.
See ya.